How are you doing?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm
That's
all
good.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm
Yeah.
okay. I was going to watch Picard episode 4 again this morning, but I couldn't be bothered in the end. I watched
How
it.
mu-
I watched it
I think
yesterday.
I've seen it 3 times so
Oh,
far.
really?
Yeah,
Blimey.
made notes and everything. A proper professional.
Yeah. I've just got basically the word 7 written down with loads of underlining.
Oh, have you? Oh, I've got loads of stuff in
No,
there.
I
I've
haven't.
got flashback
I haven't really.
underlined several times.
I've got other
But
things on there.
yeah,
Yeah, not
right.
too many. So, yeah, episode 4.
Yeah.
I thought this was a really good episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really
Uh,
sort of finding its feet.
Yeah, yeah,
Totally.
yeah, totally. And also, I just want to give a shout out to the people on the effects. Yeah,
Yeah,
they fucking knocked it out of the park this time. I thought,
yeah.
everything. I don't know what computer they're using, but I want one.
But they just, yeah, I think it's Paramount Plus that show comes out on, isn't it? Oh no,
Oh,
yeah, it's on.
no, I'm doing it on Prime.
So am
So
I, yeah. But I think I think it might be Paramount Plus that made it or something. I don't know.
yeah,
I could be wrong
um,
about that actually. Thought I read that somewhere earlier. But yeah,
I'm getting wrong.
like
I'm getting shit wrong all the time.
the
Like for instance, in our last episode, I said that the Daystrom Institute was a biological centre.
yeah.
Fuck that right up.
But I mean,
I'm an old lady.
I
Old lady.
but I had a look at that as well, and they sort of do a bit of everything there, don't they?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's probably a weapon, but it could be a biological weapon. So
yeah.
I could have been almost correct in my incorrect
But I think
assumptions
they do
about it.
lots of things because I think I read something. It's referenced in there's an animated series out at the moment, isn't there? Star Trek Lower Decks.
Yeah, I couldn't touch that. I don't
No,
know
apparently it's.
why.
I didn't bother either, but apparently they talk about it in that something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Daystrom
I know
Institute.
it's. Oh, well, I know it's definitely been up because Data is obviously. I think Data was built there, or Doctor Sung was there, or something.
Yeah,
But it's a technological place rather than a biological. But it's probably fucking everything, because
yeah,
it's. I think they invented the positronic brain there or something. Although I think Asimov was there first, frankly.
yeah. I think he was. Yeah,
Yeah,
Posit-
just putting that out there.
Positronic.
Positronic.
Yeah, that'd probably be the name of the band if they started a band.
Oh God, no, that's like
Yeah,
Mantronics
with
or
with
I don't know
Picard.
why I thought of M people there for a bit.
Yeah,
I don't
no, I
know.
don't know why.
So I'm probably having a stroke. I don't know.
There was a band called Mantronics, but I can't remember.
Yeah, they did that. They did a really good
Sort
club
of
song ages ago.
80s
Yeah, 80s or early 90s. It
sort
was
of electro
gotta get it,
techno something.
gotta get it something. Do do do. Got to find my love. Something like that. Anyway, but yeah. Anyway, yeah. So
So yeah,
yeah. So they started the episode with a flashback, and I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" You know what I
yeah,
mean? But it does. It. I mean, I know. Well, once you watch the whole episode, it is important and stuff.
yeah.
But like, you were kind of like they're in the middle of fucking nowhere. They're all
Yeah,
dying.
but that
And
is sort of like
flashback, really?
exactly. I mean, that flashback that was in the holodeck, wasn't it? Because I know
Um,
later on they go to the holodeck version of that, but was the flashback in the holodeck? It can't have
I'm
been because
I'm going to go with no.
yeah,
I'm going to say it was a flashback, and he was in an actual pub.
yeah, an actual
Yeah,
boozer. But yeah, he's
yeah.
trying to have his fish and chips, isn't he? And like
Fucking
the
yeah.
kids will turn up like Captain Picard. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He could properly have probably abused his power there a little bit. Do you know what I mean? With all those impressionable young people.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, you just be
Fuck
like, oh,
off!
fuck
I'm
off.
eating my fish and chips.
Fuck, go and get me a pack of Marlboro or
Yeah,
something.
you young whippersnappers.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought, oh, flashback. Oh, but they
Yeah,
bring up the Herodian and they bring up Captain Janeway, which is nice. It'd be nice to see Janeway.
yeah. I was thinking that actually. I had Janeway witten down on my notes. Actually, it was sort of like,
Yeah, I'd like to see her again. She was so cool. Although she did that head bobbly thing, but she didn't do that for what? But she did it at first, and then it sort of wore off after a while.
yeah,
But I love Janeway.
Yeah.
I love Voyager.
Maybe she
That's
will.
my
Maybe she will
favourite.
turn up. I'm sure she'd be up for it.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'd hope so.
But
Uh,
yeah.
Although I did when I watched the background of making Voyager, um, like she was doing 18-hour shifts, and it really fucked up her relationship with her kids, because like she would literally do, because she's a captain, so she's in every fucking episode.
Yeah.
So she's got to be there for 18 hours a day. She'd go home, see her kids for like 1 hour, sleep for 3 hours, and then fuck off back to work again. It was like that for 7 years,
Like the rest of
and
us.
like, oh yeah, of course. But her kids have never watched Voyager because they hate it, because it took their mum away from them.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, like it's full on,
Star Trek
But
fail.
I guess when you're an actress or an actor in Hollywood, that's the shit you've got to do.
Mm.
And also, you've been given a paid gig for 7 years, which probably never would normally happen.
Well, no, yeah.
You get like the odd theatre gig, or
jump at the chance, probably, innit?
yeah. So you have to do it. So I mean, it's obviously guilt on her side, and the kids hate it and all the rest of it. But yeah, her kids won't even talk about it because yeah, it's like it's like fucking trauma. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So got off the plot really. So I thought that kind of like, I thought, oh god, they're stretching it out of these flashbacks, but the flashback was there for a reason, because we found out later about the flashback. But also, I think I've been a little bit hard on this because I'm expecting everything to happen in one episode, which is not. It's this story is going to go over a season, so
Yeah.
this
I
is
don't know how
why.
many episodes are in this season. How many are normally in it? 8 or 10?
Don't
Or
know.
is it 6? I think it's about 8. I think the
It's a
first one
hard
was 8.
question, man.
Could be wrong.
I'm kind of blanking out the last
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
Do you know, I might have to watch the last two seasons again.
Oh, I don't think I will.
I know. It's
So yeah, the other flashback, and then we're sort of back in the ship, and the ship's knackered, and Picard and Riker are sort of like apologising to each other,
oh yeah,
all
yeah, I
that kind
saw
of
that.
stuff.
And Bev's noticing periodic explosions.
Yeah, like
So
Bev's noticed,
yeah,
like not the engineers or the science crew.
yeah,
Bev,
no, Bev's on
yeah,
it.
Bev's done it.
Uh,
Yeah,
so
I thought
I'm
that
just
was
trying to
weird.
periodic
But yeah, we know
explosions.
Bev. What do you think we're doing up here? Twiddling our thumbs?
Yeah, what is the other fact? Because like a bit later on, you find out there's like 500 crew members. What the fuck are they doing?
Oh no,
Seriously, there's like only 15 people actually doing stuff.
pissing
You know,
about. Yeah.
are they on the holograph?
Yeah, on the holodeck, pissing about.
Holodeck.
Yeah, getting pissed and
Yeah,
10 forward and consoling each other.
yeah. So after so Riker and Picard have a chat, and actually, Riker was in as right, because I thought Picard was acting funny because he was a changeling,
Yeah,
but no, he was just being an arsehole
yeah.
in the end.
Did notice that as well. He was like,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. I mean, Riker tells him to shut up, but they are fucked.
Yeah,
And I don't know what I don't know why that sort of conversation had to happen. Maybe it did. I don't know, but then Seven goes and has a word with the captain who's damaged himself, Captain Shaw,
yeah.
and
She's still quite rude to him. She's like,
she's still
much
quite
as it
rude,
pains me, she said, much as it pains me, we need your help.
still being a bit rude. But
Yeah,
then we don't know because I feel like now maybe I've been a bit harsh on her, because I don't know what an arsehole he's been to her, because it turns out later that Captain Shaw, his crew, was massacred by the Borg and Locutus.
and he has got like survivor syndrome, wasn't he? Because he
Survivor
was
syndrome.
just picked out of 50 people, only 10 could go or something. So he's got like extreme PTSD.
Yeah.
So it's probably why, and like they were. I was thinking about that because it's weird because I know he's an arsehole, but I kind of I like him. I actually think he's an interesting character because he's just. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like he doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably explains why he's a bit like that. Like he doesn't want
Hmm.
to be friends with people anymore because he's scared of them going because all his friends were killed.
Well,
You
out
know,
of
so he
50,
doesn't
yeah,
keep
all of
anyone
them.
close.
Well, 50 that were left on his ship.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's hard to feel
There's
sorry
only
for him,
10
but
of
like,
them that actually survived it. So, and it
but
was just an
mm,
arbitrary sort of like you,
yeah,
like to go on the the survivor pod or whatever
yeah.
it is.
But I think
Um,
it's like, I mean, everyone in this show has got like, you know, a past that's fucked them up and something, and we're all very sympathetic towards them, but we're just not very sympathetic towards him, which I think is a bit unfair. But you know, I mean, I suppose because he's in charge and he has to do better, if you like. But I kind of like him. I think it's cool having a captain like that. He's quite obviously got problems, you know what I mean? But he's still reasonably capable. He's sort of got this sort of like thing with him all the time. He's just like fuck, okay, you know, he's just got stuff to do. And he always seems a bit sort of like reluctant.
so and it comes to a point where she asks his help to find a changeling, and he knows all about it.
Yeah,
So that's really cool. And he goes and tells her to find the pot that they sit in, and there's like residue, and they can use that. See, they're getting a plan together now, which is good.
yeah,
They didn't seem to have anything at all for the last 3 episodes, and he's got a plan to use the ship's computers to find this excuse me biological signature, which is cool. Or even just draw him out. So she goes and finds the pots in the quarters of the man who'd been murdered.
yeah.
He was a technician, a transporter technician, and she finds it. And while she's walking down the corridor, there's gunfire, whatever. One guy dies, and this crewman is now he's now the changeling, and
Mm,
she shoots him a few times, and he gets away. So
yeah,
it's kind of worked, sort of.
yeah,
Um, but anyhow, so they know that they're kind of actively looking for the changeling, which is good. And she's on an unofficial capacity. She had a word with Riker, and he said, "Well, if I reinstate you, then." He's going to be more suspicious of you, sort of thing. So let's go do this under the radar, sort of thing. You being
yeah.
like a loose cannon,
But
whatever.
she loved
Yeah,
that as well, isn't it?
yeah.
Ooh,
Oh,
break the
loose
rules.
cannon. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Maverick. Yeah. So,
I'd have been
yeah,
like,
there's
am I
that.
still going to get paid though? Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
I'll get time
Vadek,
and a half for this.
yeah, Vadek is a changeling, which we kind of sort of speculated on
But
last
it's weird
time. You
because
said
it's like, is
that.
she or is she part changeling? Because it's weird because she just did the thing with the
Mm.
hand, didn't she? So she
Yeah,
sort
she
of
kind
cut
of
her hand, and the hand sort of turned into a changeling, weird fucking looking changeling as
like a
well.
face. Yeah.
Yeah, but like you know, it was like a
Quite a
separate
demonic,
entity.
demonic face as
Yeah,
well, I thought.
so it's kind of weird because she never changed herself, so it was just part of her. So yeah, it's weird. Still loads of unanswered questions about her.
Yeah, that's true. I
Um,
mean, obviously they're like liquid beings, aren't they? So their technology would be slightly different to everybody else's. Maybe
yeah,
that's how they make a phone call. I don't fucking know.
but yeah,
But
well, maybe yeah, I suppose. I don't know. It's weird because like you know, why is it attached to her hand? You know, why isn't it living in a pot on her ship? But
yeah,
I
that might
suppose,
have
yeah, I
something to
don't know.
do with
It was
Jack
a bit,
Data.
it's interesting,
Mm.
but I mean, yeah, I thought, well, she must be a changeling or something. But like, mate, I don't know if she is. She's like part changeling. It's almost like they parasitized her or something, you know. But
Yeah, maybe, or maybe she's just a changeling. We
maybe she's
don't
just
know.
a changeling. Yeah,
We don't know.
um,
Um, so Picard decides to have a word with his son in the pub, which
yeah.
I find quite offensive as a British person that they would use that stereotype.
What to go to the pub?
Well, yeah, when in crisis, let's just go and go down the pub and get fucked up.
Yeah,
I don't know how
typical.
you feel about it.
Yeah, I
You
thought
upset?
the main thing about that was like he so Bev's first husband is called Jack Crusher.
Right,
That's right, isn't it? And he's Wesley's father,
Wesley.
Wesley. And then she names her Picard's son after her ex-husband, which is a bit weird in itself. But then Picard's like, he was like this great guy, he's like one of his best friends or something like that, something like that. Yeah, so he's my best friend. And then he died. And then I started going out with his wife.
And I started
Do you know
fucking
what I
his
mean? Like,
wife.
that's what I was like,
Yeah,
oh, okay
that's not.
then. Fucking straight in there, Admiral
Yeah,
Picard.
yeah,
Admiral Dick Hard.
yeah. Engage.
Engage, yeah.
Yeah,
Make it
make
so.
it so. Yeah.
It's not going to suck itself, Beverly.
That's a bit rude.
So sorry about that. Yeah. Apologise to everyone, especially Bev, if you're watching.
God.
I
Oh
don't know. I just
no.
thought that was weird. First of all, she names her son after her ex-husband. I mean, that's just
Yeah,
weird in itself. But yeah, then
yeah,
Picard's like, yeah, he's my best friend, and then he died, and I was like,
yeah. It seemed a little bit spiteful.
straight in there.
But
Yeah,
Jean Luc's a bit of a mouthful, though. Let's face it, isn't he?
yeah. Apparently
Yeah.
so. You'd have to ask Bev.
Fuck. Yeah, I walked into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up,
Oh
Wes.
yeah. They felt the need to explain why the holodeck's on while they're like conserving power as
Yeah,
well.
that
I
was
thought that was
bollocks as well,
funny.
wasn't it? Oh, wait, it's on an independent. Yeah. I'm sure you could. I'm sure it
Yeah.
isn't. Yeah, I'm sure that's like one of the first
But
things they turn off.
they knew that would be
Yeah,
that like the fucking Twitter would be in an uproar.
yeah.
Wait.
That'll be the first thing you turn off. You know what I mean? That and
Yeah.
all the fucking, the fruit machines and whatever they probably got scattered around
I don't know. Maybe they need a holodeck
in order to
holodeck
relieve
priest.
stress. Like, because everyone needs the pub. Like, you know what I mean? In times of stress, everyone
Yeah,
needs the pub.
they got priests and mullahs and all that kind of shit on there. Do you know what I
Fuck
mean?
knows. But yeah, I
Yeah, every
noticed
kind
that
of
as well. I
religion,
was like, yeah.
Bajoran emissaries or whatever the fuck they're called.
I think even
But
Picard was sort of grinning when he said that, almost like, this is bollocks.
we've got to put it in. We've got to put it in the script because the internet will
They
just
were probably
explode
doing
if
a
we
read
don't
through and someone
explain
went,
it.
but surely it must take a lot of power.
Yeah, it would. It seems like it would. It seems like
Yeah.
it would. Yeah. Anywho, yeah, there was quite a few things. Let's see. What have I written
So
here?
yeah, while this is all going on, we've got the energy pulses coming from the nebula.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And
So my prediction actually, well, only one out of a million that I made actually came true. About the nebula being important for them to get out of the trouble that they're in, sort of indirectly. So yeah, Bev's on that, and she's counting down and noticing that the contractions are getting nearer. Sorry, my cat's here and he's moaning at me. So she's all over that, and then eventually they all sort of get together and formulate a plan on how to charge the nacelles into the warp core.
Which you also predicted, I think, last time. We were talking about, reverse the polarity of the deflector
Yeah, you've
shields.
got
It's
to do
usually
that.
some shit like that. It's
Yeah.
never been done before, but,
let's
apparently
get
it's
on
really
it.
easy.
I'm going to manually open these things with a screwdriver.
Yeah.
And let's do it. I do think there has been a couple of occasions in Star Trek where they've had to get power. Like, well, the nacelles was definitely one of them. I think there was also one with I think B'Elanna did something to the forward deflector to scoop up some kind of energy.
I think they're always doing that shit. Like,
Yeah,
it probably has its own branch of science, to be fair.
Well, you'd think so.
Do you
You'd
know
think
what I
that'd be one of
mean?
the first things you learned. If you're fucked in it, your engines are fucked, you can do this.
But I mean, you might think, like, is there somewhere down in engineering, there's this massive fuse box, and like when all the powers come in, it's just going to go, poof, and it's like, fuck, we need a
fucking solar
15,000
sail or any
fuse.
fucking shit would do. Yeah.
But no, it all just fucking fine, isn't it? And they're all. But so that was quite good. I mean, they're watching the silly
they got a plan.
space
cuttlefish. They're doing
and
sciencey stuff. They're talking techno bollocks.
Surfing the wave out of the remains of the nebula. And then Riker does quite a good thing where he lobs that asteroid at the Shrike, which I thought was pretty good. Like,
that was pretty good.
Off, bang! Proper knocks him sideways. Yeah, take that, you bitch. Wallop.
Yeah,
yeah.
take that.
So, but yeah, I mean, that was a bit weird because at that point, I mean, it was weird because before that, the changeling hand creature says you need to go into pursuit,
Oh yeah,
and
I wanted to say about that. Like
yeah,
she's totally she's dispensable.
yeah,
And I thought that's a bit much. But I
yeah,
don't know if they've got some kind of weird religious thing going on where, because like in war, people with like religious conviction are generally more dangerous because they are willing to die for that belief. And it felt sort of like that because
yeah,
when he says to you, you're completely dispensable, your crew, your ship, all that technology you've got on board, and they
yeah,
did in fact have to get rid of the
yeah,
portal
which was
tech, didn't
yeah,
they?
which I thought was weird, but also but because like I mean that probably would have saved them from that asteroid. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's probably why
Yeah,
the writers had to get rid of it at this
yeah.
point. Just so you know, it's
Someone's
gonna.
gone. Hang on a minute, but surely
Yeah,
wouldn't they? Oh fuck,
we've got to put that in there.
scribbling it
So
out.
yeah, that's a problem with science fiction people. I mean, like like with the fans and that, will pick every fucking hole that is possible to pick with
But I
it.
mean, it's good that they did it. But I mean,
Oh
it's not.
yeah, yeah,
It's
they
just
knew.
yeah. It's just obvious. It's kind of obvious that it's almost like a rewrite. You can almost see where they've gone back, and some
Yeah,
nerd
why
in the
wouldn't they use
crew.
the portal tech when this thing's coming
Yeah,
towards them?
yeah, some
Yeah.
yeah, and then they've all gone. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Jesus
we're gonna have
Christ.
to like fit that in somewhere beforehand to.
But they are answering the questions, like like not
Yeah, they
like
care about it that
yeah.
much that they're not going to let that go, which is
Yeah,
really,
they've
yeah,
learnt a
that which
few
is good.
lessons from and all the scratching head stuff we've all been talking about before. Like why is she Irish? That sort of thing. They've just gone right. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
this
Well,
is what everyone's
we'll have to
talking
say
about.
something about Picard's son, but actually they didn't because it would be normal for him to have any kind of like Earth accent if he's an Earther. Do
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They didn't really have to put that
no,
in there, but they probably thought, you know what, the internet explosion's just not worth it.
yeah,
Let's get in front of it, sort of thing.
yeah,
And
exactly.
so they actually care a lot about what the fans think. I think. Well, that's what it feels like
It does
anyway.
feel like this, especially in this series. Like I think they've, you know, I mean, the first two series were just not Star Trek. And again, that typical. We talked about it I think we talked about it in almost every episode. It's just that, excuse me, it's that lazy stuff of like, oh, let's just go back in time, or
Yeah,
let's go back to 20th century Earth. And and what is this hip hop you guys listen to? You know what I mean? I'm just so bored of all that.
yeah,
I don't care. I want to know what happens in the future. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
That's why I watch Star Trek. You want to see what people are up to in the future, not how different things are in the past. Shining
yeah.
a light on how shit we all are now. It's like, thanks, Star Trek.
We
I
know
don't care
shit.
actually. We know we're shit. That's why we watch science fiction movies to escape all this bollocks. So
Yeah,
I mean, I'm really the whole tone of it is very, you know, is very very Star Trek. I mean, I would really, really like to see more of this
I
now.
would
I
now.
would, I
Now
would
that
what?
now they've found their feet a bit and they've got some
Yeah,
decent writers. Then, I like, I mean, Reich is still got a bit of go in him. Savin looks brilliant.
yeah.
There's a lot of the characters they could still use. With fan service and have all the rest of it. LaForge still looks good. Um, he
Does
hasn't
he?
turned up. Well, yeah, I saw some pictures online. He's not. He's not turned into some, fat blob or
Yeah,
hasn't. He looks alright. And Worf obviously looks pretty good.
yeah.
Um,
So we didn't see them in this episode at all. Raffi and
oh
Worf.
yeah, kind of yeah.
Um, I mean, I didn't really care too much, and it's weird. I mean,
I
I
didn't
was
really notice it until the end, and I thought, oh fuck, I wanted to
yeah,
see them go to Daystrom, but
yeah. I mean, I mean, presumably that's what's going to happen next. They'll probably go to Daystrom and find Geordie LaForge there or something.
oh,
You know
let's
what I
hope
mean,
so.
or something
Yeah,
like that, or Janeway. um, so yeah, I mean that's probably we're going to get a whole episode with them or something. But I thought this one just on the ship was really, really good. It just
It
sort of really
was
felt
good.
like Star Trek.
Yeah.
Um,
So I was right about the nebula.
yeah.
That's the only thing I've been right about so far, so that's all right.
I suppose I mean, they didn't kill the Shrike, though, did they? All they did was disable it. I mean, they just sort of hightailed it out of there as soon as they had the chance, which is fair enough. But like they just left her sort of floating because the ship didn't blow up or anything.
No, they said like the engines were down, warp was down.
Yeah,
They were losing energy. I mean, she looked pretty depressed, but she's going to come back. She's a proper, she's,
she
she's
did.
one of those
Yeah, she
people you
did look
can't fucking
depressed.
kill, you know. So
Yeah,
she'd probably just ride out on one of those jellyfish things that turns up at the end.
yeah. I mean, it's weird seeing as
I
they
mean,
were
did it?
actually waiting for them right in
Yeah.
front of them. They could have just gone, straight away, but they didn't. For some reason, they were just sitting there waiting, and she does a whole sort of like
But you've got to do that. You've got to
maniacal
do that when
thing,
you're evil,
and then all of a
haven't
sudden
you?
it's like, oh, there's a massive rock,
Yeah.
thwack.
Oh, thwack. Yeah. Well,
Mm.
I believed it. I thought
Yeah,
it was good. I mean, she looked pretty depressed at the end there, but I mean, if your boss is going to tell you you're dispensable, I'd be pretty depressed about it as well. Plus, your ship's just had a
yeah,
massive encounter with a rock.
yeah.
So,
I love that. I mean, that was really. I remember I was watching that, and I was
oh, do you
just
think
like,
it made Chuba
oof,
come? Yeah, oof.
because it really like thwacked it. You know what I mean? I mean, a ship probably wouldn't fucking withstand that thing. I mean, that's the type of asteroid that would destroy a continent if it landed on Earth. But it's just like
True.
boom, it's
But they
just
didn't have
fucking
much of a
whoa.
run up, so
Yeah,
like speed wise,
maybe no, yeah,
velocity.
but it's like,
Yeah,
but yeah, it was
and
a good,
also
it was
they
a good
probably got
move.
shields. I can sort of forgive it.
I thought it
Yeah,
was weird. They were sort of like Picard's the only one who's got experience riding blind, because that was the whole thing with the Jack
yeah.
Crusher thing. And it's like, really? Surely they trained for this shit. And then he's like, Jack, get on the thing and tell me where the things
Well, they're
are.
trying
It's
to
like,
include everybody, aren't they?
yeah.
Let's
But it's like,
include them
yeah.
all.
Because he's like, what do you want me to do? And he goes, I want you on the bridge with your mother. And it's like, well, why does she need to be on there? Do you know what I mean? So yeah,
I'd
it's a
be
bit
like,
like,
what's wrong with me, mum?
but again, you said there's like 500 people on the ship, and he's like, I want my son doing this really, really important job, telling me where all the rocks are. And then I bet all his crew are just like, I'm never going to get anywhere in this company, am I? Do you know what I mean? This could be totally like nepotism. Do you know
just
what I mean? I've been
real,
totally
just
overstepped by some young
morale is
lad,
through the floor.
terrorist no less, or at least some people think he's a terrorist.
What I did think as well, maybe they haven't really sort of highlighted the other people on the ship because we ain't going to see them again. Do
Maybe.
you know what I mean? Like the Vulcan lady or the Bajoran guy. I did notice actually they were using colours this time.
Do you know what? I saw I was remember your comments about that, and I think they have been using colours, but I
Oh, I'm
don't.
just
I
a
think they've
blind old
changed. I
lady.
think they've changed because it used to be gold for command, wasn't it? Like with Kirk, and then red was engineering. Like Scotty used to
Oh,
wear
that's
red,
right. Yeah, that was
and then
the
it, ch-
first
but then
season.
it was security because then in the original series, like was Scotty like engineering and security because it's always the guy in the red shirt who got killed, wasn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like when
no,
they've been down to the planet. So
he was definitely a red, and then
but,
Spock was blue, wasn't he?
yeah.
Science officer.
But I
But
think it's changed because like I mean Picard and Riker do wear what they bloody like. But yeah, the science people were wearing blue, but I don't know what the other people were wearing. The gold people were wearing gold, but I don't know what. Yeah, so I think it's
on
like they've
Voyager,
changed
it
it.
was like yellow was like security helm,
Yeah.
and
Oh, Helm! It must be Helm. Yeah.
and I think comms was red.
But then, yeah, because they've got two pilots. They've got LaForge and they've got the other guy, the Bajoran guy, and they were wearing different colours because she's wearing red and he's wearing gold.
Oh,
So
so
yeah,
maybe she's like a
it's like
senior pilot, and
yeah,
then maybe Paris used to wear red as well.
yeah. Maybe they can just wear what they bloody well like, as long as it's one of those
Maybe I'm
furry colours.
just making it up.
Or maybe they
Yeah.
just like every so often they just like management has like a meeting where they sit around and discuss should they change the
I
when
want to
people
wear
have got
green.
yeah
No,
people
wear
have got
green.
nothing to do and they just like say right we're going to change all the colours again. Oh fuck's sake! Do you know what I mean? Am I
Yeah.
science? Am I science?
I want to wear blue
Oh,
again.
I want to wear blue. I was expecting like someone to walk on in like a sort of rainbow coloured one or something like that. Someone with blue hair.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, but I
God.
don't think anyone would care about it in the future because everyone's different, aren't they? So it's just
Yeah,
not a
but you
big
still have
deal.
to wear a uniform. What are you wearing? Get off my bridge.
Too bright. Well, I mean, like Neelix, your favourite, he used to wear quite rainbow colours, didn't he? I
Yeah,
think
because
he
he
was
wasn't.
like
Yeah, because he wasn't
breaking the
Starfleet,
mould,
was he?
wasn't
Yeah.
he? Breaking the mould, Neelix. Yeah.
Fucking Neelix. Yeah. He always wore the same fucking outfit as well, didn't he? But he stunk of fish because he's like a
It's all.
fish, isn't he?
It was like I'd made his outfit for him out of a pair of curtains. You know what
Like
I mean? It was
glittery.
just
Yeah, sort of like
you
yeah.
got to spray some gold on that.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
favorite color is sparkles. So yeah.
Yeah. It didn't
So,
come
but
across as
yeah,
gay, but who knows? Yeah.
you never know. I mean, yeah. So
I mean, you don't know what Kaz was like underneath.
God
You don't know what
knows. I don't really
genitals
like
she
to think
had.
about it, to be honest.
Let's leave that there.
Yeah.
So
So
anyway,
I suppose. I mean,
yeah.
we're coming to the end, really. I suppose, aren't we? But I mean, of this episode, what are
What
you
colour are
laughing at?
sparkles? Sorry, I just found that really funny.
Sorry, that's just yeah. Um,
So at the end now, so
so we
they'd
go to
ride
the
it out.
flashback again, don't we?
They would get another flashback, but
Yeah,
then they kind of sort of explain why they'd be doing the flashbacks because Jack did try to contact Picard at one point, but he was there telling stories to these youngsters,
yeah.
and then he felt like he his dad didn't really want to know because Starfleet was his
I
family.
mean, I thought that was quite good because, in
Mm.
a way, like if we're not sure how old he was then, but I think it was like 5 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think they were
And so he must
they're
have been
going for poignant, weren't they?
yeah, I think the flashback said 5 years before, but he did establish that Jack Crusher was like 24, so he
Yeah.
must have been about 19. So you can kind of see, because in a way, it's like if you're just going to sit and speak to someone you've never met before and make some random comment, you can't expect Picard to go, "Oh yeah, you're my son," or, stuff like that. So in a way, it's a kind of like a teenage boy thing to do to
Mm.
sort of ask a sort of surreptitious question to someone you've never met. So you don't have your own family, and
Yeah.
and get all moody about it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like something a young man or woman might do. Do you know what I mean? Sort of
Mm.
angry sort
Well,
of
if you're a
thing.
bit sensitive about it as well, you just be like, "Oh fuck it then." And
Yeah,
also he's an admiral,
but he had to
so
say that in front of the crew as well. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, it's true, but I can see why he wouldn't do it because you're very unsure of yourself.
but
Your
it's
dad's
yeah,
this like fucking heroic admiral legend. They keep going on
true.
about the word legend as well. They keep inserting that into every
Yeah,
fucking sentence. But
but
yeah,
also it's
and
kind of a
I can totally
security
understand
issue, isn't
why.
it?
Well,
It's
of
like,
course, yeah.
I mean,
But
like,
I mean, everyone's
I mean,
insecure when they're young, you know.
but I mean for Picard, I mean like I know sort of modern sort of like military people, they're they're kind of like told not to really discuss their personal lives with people they don't know because they can become
Well, yeah. I mean,
targets for sort of terrorism and stuff like that. Like military people, they have to be very careful about
no,
who they
that's
talk
very
to off base
true.
and stuff. So
But yeah, no, that is totally a
yeah,
thing. You wouldn't be sort of talking about it in a pub because
yeah,
because like terrorists, you're a target, so you wouldn't do anybody favors by sort of blabbing about it in a.
yeah,
I mean, a Hirosian might fucking turn up. That's what you were talking about.
yeah. That's true.
They're quite bad. Um. So yeah. So anyway, we've sort of got off track. So basically, they're riding this wave of the nebula out on their new nacelles, which have been fixed by Captain Shaw and Seven, and they're doing a good job. They're sort of getting a bit of rapport now.
Yeah,
They kill the changeling. Seven kills the changeling by sort of tricking it a little bit.
yeah,
Um, so that's all good. So they're riding the wave out. Really nice effects, I thought. Really beautiful effects they've done on that, where it's all sucking up the power into the nacelles, and then the nebula gives birth.
yeah.
So
Plop.
there's like a really good moment there. Everyone's alive, plus new life.
Yeah, space cuttlefish
Yeah,
floating
yeah, really
about.
pretty ones as well.
It'd be funny if Riker was just like,
Pleases it. Yeah,
or maybe
yeah.
like harpoon a
What I
couple so they've got something to eat.
yeah,
Neelix would be
what
like,
hmm. That'll feed 500 people, no
they're all
problem.
stuffing
They're
their faces
fucking
with
massive.
calamari for months.
Yeah. Well,
This
what I did
baby
think
life form is
about,
delicious.
there's all these like baby jellyfish everywhere, space jelly,
Yeah.
and I thought if they're gonna, is their warp engine gonna like fry these things when it goes away? That's what I
Yeah.
thought. Thought,
All of them
yeah,
just
yeah,
crisp,
yeah. Do you know
deep
what I mean?
fried.
Yeah, I thought I was sort of worried about that a little
Yeah.
bit,
I
but
mean,
I completely
it's
forgot
weird.
about it.
I was looking at them, and they're doing that sort of, and it's like that doesn't work in space.
Yeah, I don't think it
Yeah.
does it?
No, it doesn't.
They'd be better if they had little jets.
Yeah, exactly.
Like an actual squid. Maybe they've got ink
Yeah.
they can squirt
Yeah,
out
that
there
sort of thing.
for a bit
Yeah.
of.
I mean, it didn't seem to be that many of them, and they didn't
There's
seem to be
fucking
that big. So
thousands
I'm
of
not sure
them.
why those gravity well was so dense that it
Well, the
was pulling
mum's
this ship
probably
in.
massive. The mum's
But
probably like the size of a solar system or
we didn't
something.
see the mum, did we? Sort of like
We haven't
dead,
seen the mum.
dead
Maybe
sort
she'll
of like
turn up
seahorse.
later.
Yeah,
She'll turn
maybe.
up later in a flashback,
Yeah, maybe. Maybe
talking
she's
about, oh
clinging
God,
onto the bottom of the ship and they haven't noticed.
yeah.
And their kids are going, Mom,
Or
Mom, come
it'd be
back.
like Alien 2 where they land somewhere and one of them like flops out and tries to kill everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. They turn out to be like the next
Get
fucking,
away from her, you
the
bitch.
next species that absolutely destroys the galaxy. And everyone's going to say, you were there, you could have stopped them. It's like,
We just created an enemy. Yeah, we walked into
shit.
some of his
We
babies.
should have given them to Neelix.
Yeah, I'm just talking total bollocks now. But
So
anyway,
yeah,
the
that,
interesting thing about the end, I mean, it was all really good. They had a plan together. They, got through it. They nearly died. Brilliant. And we have some space babies, which is nice. And then at the very end, Jack has like a hallucination.
yeah,
Do you remember that?
I
Because I
do.
thought, because he's done it before when he was being poisoned by whatever the gas was. I just thought it was part of that, like he's hallucinating because he's dying, sort of thing. But it was like growth, sort of tentacular
Yeah.
growth on the wall, and he's getting these red flashes, and it looked a bit like destruction of something, but it's all red.
Yes.
But now he's got that back, so obviously somebody's done something to him, and it's obviously got to do with the changeling.
Do you know what? It's weird
Um,
because I forgot there was the bit at the end of that sequence. That was the last sequence in the thing, wasn't it? Before the
yeah.
titles, someone said something in the distance, and it was something like "Save me" or
Yeah.
something like that. It wasn't "Save me."
Or come and find me or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but it sounded maybe like a woman's voice or something. But I couldn't quite. I meant to go back, but then I was looking at the end credits again because I wanted to see if there was anything weird in the end credits. But I think they were the same as the ones from last week. Although there was a ship, there was like a diagram of a ship, but it wasn't the Titan. I mean,
Mm.
I thought it looked like Voyager, but it also looked a bit like the Excelsior, which is like from the old. I'm not quite sure, but there was like a sort of wireframe sort of diagram thing,
Right.
but of
Okay.
a starship, but it wasn't the Titan because the Titan looks pretty
Okay.
much like a regular.
Yeah, it's a
It
yeah.
was one of the more fatter ones. It looked like Voyager to me. I could be. I'm probably very
Oh,
wrong about that.
that's
But
interesting.
then you also
Yeah.
see the message, and it was like Captain. I mean, it's weird. That thing I thought was an email. It was like Captain Shaw's personnel report. Private and confidential, and it said something about there was some incident. But then it's got this "do not seek anger, do not seek blame" thing again.
And there
And that,
was like you said, I don't know if it was in this one with the credits, but there was sort of kind of like a caption of somebody's head.
yeah, like
So
neurons and stuff.
yes, yeah. So I don't know if he's been damaged because initially I thought when you said it last time about it being in the credits,
Yeah,
I thought, well, maybe he's been nano probed by the Borg, but he wasn't captured, was he? So I don't know what's happened there. But I
no.
mean, they get into
So
strife all the time, don't they? So he could be
yeah,
anything.
yeah. We, I suppose we need to sort of wrap up soon. But there was something I was just thinking about, and it was like when Shaw comes in and interrupts his sort of like tete-a-tete, with the crew members who are all sitting around hugging each other because they're all stressed. Do you know what I mean? And then he goes into his rant, and he points at him, Locutus of Borg, sort of thing
Yeah,
like that. And
yeah,
Picard proper
yeah.
gets like pissed off, or sort of just like really sort of turns in on himself and
Well,
sort of like,
that's probably why he's been giving Seven a hard time, isn't he? Because he
yeah.
hates Borg. But I mean, it's
Oh
not really
yeah,
a
yeah,
way to
absolutely, yeah.
behave, is it?
No, it's not. It's not a way to behave, no. But like, and he's full of drugs and stuff, isn't he? Yeah. But I mean, I like him. I like him. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
he's a
I'm warming
nightmare,
up to
but
all of them. Like even
yeah,
like Jack Crusher.
I
Like
just yeah,
I didn't really like him at first, but I'm warming up to him a little bit now. So
yeah.
yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, there's lots going on. So it's still
Yeah,
like so now, I wonder what's going to happen next episode. So we're going to have some more Worf and
yeah, I hope
Raffi.
so. Yeah,
So we're going to have
so
to figure out that, yeah, because that's all very important because we
I'll
still
be.
don't know what's going on.
I always get quite excited when it's like experimental science or something
Yeah,
like that. I just think, oh God, what are they going to come up with?
yeah.
So I'll be
And
quite
then
interested to see what's going on there.
so
Yeah.
presumably, where did the Titans say they were off to? Are they just
Oh,
headed back to
back home,
Federation
I'd
space?
imagine.
Yeah, we're off.
Earth pub
Pub, yeah.
immediately.
Everyone could fucking have counselling,
Yeah,
and it's,
yeah,
but presumably they have to go back and report to Starfleet and
yeah. After all of that,
head back to
yeah.
Federation space, and
Plus, they've just discovered a new species as
yeah,
well.
because
So
they don't know what they don't even know that Raffi and Worf are involved in this, do they? At the
no,
moment,
they're
like
completely unconnected
no
at
one
the
seems.
moment.
So so yeah, that's quite interesting. So I wonder if that I mean they just discarded that portal tech, but I think they said might be the first or second episode that was a diversion, that they stole that.
Oh,
That
yeah,
wasn't the
that's
main
something. I
thing.
mean, it's pretty fucking impressive on its own, but
Yeah,
it's nothing compared because they were talking about like planet killing.
yeah,
Like everyone's going to die. Everyone in the Federation's going to die.
yeah.
Yeah, so
So
I mean that's hundreds of
so
thousands of systems,
so
and
presumably they're all going to meet
gazillions of
up at some
people.
point. But
Yeah,
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 but overall, I thought it was great. I really enjoyed
yeah.
it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it's really good. Yeah, yeah. I'm
yeah,
really enjoying it as well. Should we leave it there then?
yeah. Sounds
Yeah.
great. Oh, thank
All
you
right
very
then.
much. I enjoyed that. I'm really looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.